This is J. Maharishi from Cambridge. On the occasion of the Haldane Barcroft Symposium on Chronic Hypoxia and Diseases to be held in La Paz, Bolivia during October 16th to the 23rd, the year 2010, I send you all my very best wishes for a very pleasant conference, productive and useful contacts that you'll make for some future work. Concurrently with this conference, there will be a meeting of the International Society of Chronic Hypoxia via the video link arranged by Cisco WebEx. The video conference worldwide involves the participation of people from 17 different countries. I hope you will enjoy that video conference as well. And here is the detail of the video conference worldwide via Cisco WebEx of the International Society of Chronic Hypoxia. And this conference will be run by Larry Silver, the president of the society, and he will also be assisted by a lot of other people. He will be controlling with the Cisco WebEx people and with Gustavo in La Paz. You've heard my voice. Here I am. My name is Maharishi. I'm a medical research scientist, have been working in Cambridge since 1957. I'm interested in hematopoiesis, how blood cells are made and what happens to the blood cells once they are released to the peripheral blood. We are interested in what happens to these red cells, which are the suppliers of oxygen to the tissues in the body once there is a shortage of oxygen in the blood, such as in trauma, accidents, blood loss, and of course at high altitudes where the oxygen gets rarer, or such as on Mount Everest. We are interested in the health, welfare and safety of mountaineers. What happens to the Everest climbers? One of the most renowned Everest climbers is Sir Isch Bonington. Following a request by Larry Silver from California to say a few words to the conference that arrived while he happened to be in Cambridge for delivering a lecture elsewhere, he kindly invited me to a breakfast meeting on September the 23rd and an interview. It was an immense pleasure for me to meet Sir Isch Bonington in the courtyard of Corpus Christi College under the typical light English rain falling on us. Sir Isch is a British mountaineer born on the 6th of August 1934 in Hampstead, an area of Greater London. He was educated at University School in Hampstead, London, and joined the Royal Fusiliers before attending Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, which is something similar to like West Point or the Indian Defence Academy in India. On graduation in 1956, he was commissioned in the Royal Tank Regiment. After 3 years in northern Germany, he spent 2 years at the Army Outward Bound School as a mountaineering instructor. His career has included 19 expeditions to the Himalayas, including 4 to Mount Everest, and Isch Bonington was a part of the party that made the first British ascent of the southwest pillar of Aiguille du Prou in 1958, and the first ascent of the centre pillar of Fresnes on the south side of Mont Blanc in 1966, with Don Williams, Ian Clough, and Jan Dugos. In 1966, in 1960, he was a part of the successful joint British-Indian Nepalese forces expedition to Annapurna II. On leaving the British Army in 1961, he joined Van der Berg's, a division of Unilever. But he left after 9 months and became a professional mountaineer and explorer. In 1966, he was given by his first assignment by the Daily Telegraph magazine to cover other expeditions, including climbing Sengay in Ecuador, hunting caribou, and with Eskimos on Baffin Island. In 1968, he accompanied Captain John Blatchford Snell and his British Army team in the attempt to make the first ever descent of the Blue Nile. He has written 15 books, so far as I know, made many television appearances, and received many honours, including since January 2005, the Chancellorship of Lancaster University. He is very proud of that, and he told me that the ranking of the university had improved considerably. He is an honorary president of the Hiking Club and Lancaster. He is honorary president of the Hiking Club and Lancaster University Mountaineering Club, and has a boat named after him among Lancaster University Boat Club's fleet. Furthermore, he is the honorary president of the British Orienteering Federation. He has lived in Cumbria with his wife Wendy. He has 2 sons, Daniel and Rupert, and 4 grandchildren. He is a patron and former president of the British Mountaineering Council. He succeeded Sir Edmund Hillary as the honorary president of Mountain Wilderness, an international non-governmental organization dedicated to the worldwide protection of mountains. The noteworthy attainments are in 1970 Annapurna South Face, which was successful. The summit was reached by Heston and Williams. Death of Ian Clough in 1972 was unfortunate on the Mount Everest Southwest Face. That was unsuccessful. In 1975, Mount Everest Southwest Face was successful. Summit was reached by Scott, Heston, Boardman, Prathamba Sherpa, and Mick Burke. Death of Mick Burke in 1978 on the K2 West Face was unsuccessful. Death of Nick Escore in 1982 on the Mount Everest Northeast Ridge was also unsuccessful. Death of Boardman and Joey Tasker was very unfortunate. They were young men. Boardman's body was found in 1992. Joey Tasker's body has still not been found. Parts of this description has made use of the biography of Sir Isch Bonington on the website. Those who are interested, they should read it. This is duly acknowledged, and Sir Bonington also will have been consulted for the accuracy, for which the writer, that is myself, the director of the IPPA in La Paz, Bolivia, and the president of the International Chronic Hypoxia Society are truly thankful. Now I'm going to introduce Sir Isch Bonington to you. Sir Isch, it is an immense pleasure for me to meet you, and I would be very grateful if you would now address the conference. Thank you. Well, it is an enormous pleasure for us to have you here and address the symposium, the third symposium for chronic hypoxia. This is dedicated to the memory of the distinguished British physiologist, one from Oxford, John Scott Haldane, and Sir Joseph Barcroft. And I thought, since you are here, it is very kind of you to try and address the conference, and it will be seen by people from 17 different countries in La Paz, which is at 3,500 meters, and during 16th to the 23rd of October, and there will be a live conference as well. Now, there are quite a few questions that occur to us, and here are the brief questions which you may be willing to answer. The first time you ever climbed, did you feel any AMS, that is the acute mountain sickness? How old were you?
Well, the first time, I went to the Alps, and of course you can actually experience AMS when you're just going up to 3,000 meters.
Just only 3,000 meters you can feel that?
And there, but you just get, you get a bit of a headache if you rush up. So yes. That even, say, when you go to Chamonix, and I was climbing amongst the Chamonix Aiguille, which is just between 3,000 and just under 4,000 meters, the first time we went up, yes, I felt, breathlessness and a bit of a headache. And the thing to do is to take it steady and easy and to acclimatise.
How long did you acclimatise for?
Just for a few days. The first day we felt a bit breathless, and then we went back down to Chamonix, which of course is only about 300 metres above sea level. And then very quickly we became acclimatised. Now, my first trip to the Himalayas was in 1960, so I was 26 at the time. And that was for a mountain called Annapurna 2, which is just a shade under 8,000 meters. And on that expedition, I'll never forget the first time we pushed out above about kind of 6,000 meters, and I was going well up to that, and then suddenly, all the strength left me, and I felt tired and ill, and was very, very depressed, because I thought, gosh...
Yeah, depression is a very important point of this loneliness, and so this is one of the things, the neuro thing, and you already have a friend who has got a neuro thing. So let us see these specific questions which have come from La Paz, so I must ask them rather than my personal one, which I'll try and catch you some other day, perhaps even on a telephone. So you have climbed all over the world and at every possible altitude profile. Do you feel that big wall ascents done from a near sea level, you start, for example, Central Tower or Pain in Chile, involves less risk of altitude sickness?
Well, obviously, the higher you go, the more drastic are the effects of AMS. And therefore, say, on big wall climbs, which you might get in Patagonia or you get in Baffin Island, there on the whole, you're not climbing faces that are more than about, say, 3,000 meters above sea level. And also, the very nature of big wall climbing is that you're going slowly. You move just a few rope lengths.
What is the climb ascent rate, do you think?
Well, the climbing on a big wall climb is very, very slow, because it's extremely hard rock climbing. Only one person's climbing at a time, so you're sitting around belaying. And all of this, of course, is absolutely ideal for acclimatization. So that for big wall climbing close to sea level, there isn't a problem. But you can, if, say, you start at sea level and you rush up a mountain of, say, 3,000 meters or 4,000 meters, you then will get some effects from AMS, but it probably won't be particularly serious.
Yeah, because the question was the big wall climb in the Himalayas, like Annapurna, where you had extensive time to acclimatize first, so say 3 days, 4 days, because you know what happens when you climb, oxygen gets rare, you need more hemoglobin, therefore more red cells should be produced, therefore EPO